This is Jim Wendler's Garage Gym. Coming up, we have an NOV meet that Jim is hosting, and we're going to talk about kind of why he's got the equipment he does and why the lifts that we're going to use at the meet are what they are. Here's a tour of the garage gym.
All right. So this is a two-car garage. Obviously, everything in here is built for the weight room. We store my kids' ATV in here, but this is just a dedicated weight room. The way that we did everything was we made sure I had 4 separate spots for each of the lifts. So we have a bench area, a deadlift area, a squat area, which obviously you can press out of, and then we have, this is for the assistants for mostly chins and dips right here.
So you do most of your pressing out of the mono?
All of it, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but it's very efficient, like, you know, being able to, it's kind of like I wanted a space for everything. Just like when you study, you don't study where you sleep, you know, that kind of thing. So I wanted a dedicated place for the deadlift. So that's why we built, one of the reasons why we built the platform. So that when you're on the platform, you know what you're about to do. I didn't want to have just an area where I could deadlift where you'd have to move around stuff. So anyway, we'll start over here. This is a Elite FTS competition bench. It's got weight storage, which is great since we don't have a lot of room to store stuff here. So a lot of our plates are over here. A lot of our small plates, the 10s, 5s, 2.5s, 25s, stuff like that. Very easily adjustable. As you can see, my wife was here last. The only real issue I thought about this is I don't have a lot of room to get around here.
The spot.
But I don't lift, I lift alone. So it doesn't really matter. Love this bench though. I used to have kids come in here and lift. They would go off and do something at a regular gym and they'd all complain. It's like, man, the benches at this gym were horrible. And they get spoiled real quick because the J hooks and especially the pad width and pad height.
But like most of the benches that we would have competed on when we were powerlifting were like the Forza, right? Like
yeah, they're all great benches.
Yeah, these are just a better version.
Yeah, and you know, if you go to a local gym, if they don't have quality equipment, the benches are like 9 inches wide and you're falling all over yourself. So, but we also have carpet underneath here. We have carpet in all the 3 main places here. In the summer and sometimes in the winter, these mats, we obviously have mats around the weight room, get incredibly slippery and wet from the humidity, so our feet don't slide at all. We have it obviously on the deadlift platform too. We'll go over here. I built this thing, this is maybe 10 or 12 years old now. It's just 2x6s and plywood, incredibly sturdy, weighs about 1 billion pounds, so if this thing goes, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna get rid of it.
Real heavy. If it doesn't work, you can always hit it with it.
Yeah.
Sign of reliability.
But again, it's got the carpet on here, prevents your feet from slipping. I don't have the luxury of having a temperature controlled area. So,
well, you can have a nice trash can fire.
Yeah, we've done that before. And actually, to tell you the truth, obviously when it's 20 below, it sucks in here. But when it's 20 or 18 degrees, it's not as bad as you think.
Right.
I'd rather have it like that than when it's 95 degrees out, there's no breeze coming in here.
Well, I mean, if you got the garage door and you crank up the heater,
yeah,
take the bite out of it.
Yeah, and you can always go inside to reset a little bit, so it's really not that big of a deal. We're gonna go here. This got sent to me by someone as a gift. I don't know who sent it to me. They never came out and told me, and I'm incredibly appreciative. That's right, you'll take credit for it? Yeah, fuck it. I love this is a EFS professional 45-degree back raise. Solid as shit and just sturdy. Love it for low back, glute work, hamstring work, and it's pretty much dummy free. I used to do this all the time this is my main low back exercise, hamstring exercise. When I was powerlifting the last 2 years, I did this every week. I would do it with a bar on my back. And I like to call it, it's like doing a good morning without the politics, because you can't cheat. But I love this piece of equipment, and thank you to whoever sent it to me.
So you prefer this over a glute ham raise?
Yeah, you can jack up this back end with cinder blocks, so it's almost flat.
Damn near makes one.
So yeah. And believe it or not, you can do just a regular 45-degree back raise and then curl yourself up. Yeah. It'll smoke your hamstrings too. So a tremendous piece of equipment.
So do RDLs.
What's that?
So do
yeah, but I don't need it.
Like hamstrings are hard to train.
No, but I don't want to put anything in my hands if I don't have to. That's that's kind of my lazy man's assistance work. I've got how many years of good mornings and all that other shit. So something that's not that stressful is great. Right over here, if you back up a little bit, we have a big old 112-foot incredibly thick rope. This right here hooks to a sled or a carabiner and then to a sled, and we just bring it outside. It takes up about, like cars will roll over it occasionally, but you look a little funny. You just do hand over hand. Absolutely smoke your obviously your grip and your lats, upper back, all that stuff.
And do you plant your feet against anything, or
no? You just stand there like this. If you got a buddy who's doing it with you, they help
get the rope out of your way.
Or you just do this for like 25 and take a little step forward and just let the rope drag. The only shitty thing is getting it out and getting it in. It's a real pain in the butt. That's why if you're going to do this, I'm going to do this with a buddy. It doesn't half the time. It makes it much more easier.
It's like a 1 + 1 = 3.
Yes, yeah.
Having two people.
It's synergistic.
Yeah.
Just like creatine and HMB, man. Don't use this. Yeah, I don't use this a ton, but it's great, especially like on a weekend when you got some time and you just kind of go out. Today's Wednesday, right?
So it seems.
Yeah, Wednesday at noon. Then you know when this is being filmed. They test it out every Wednesday at noon.
Does that just let people know what's going on?
Yeah, letting them know the Big Brother's watching. Don't worry, Mark. Mark Zuckerberg's watching you beat off. Don't worry. Okay, what's that? Oh, I know. His robots love that shit, dude. Over here, I had this specially made. The guys from Williams Strength made this for me. I came up, I told them kind of what I wanted. I wanted a dedicated chin and dip place that was incredibly sturdy. Obviously up here we have what they call the monkey bar, but I had them make into a fat handles. And do you think those are 2?
Yeah, they're 2.
Like, okay, maybe 2 inches.
And that's 2.5 on the back for sure.
On the back end, this is 2.5 inches, incredibly thick. But a great way to do chin-ups. And since my shoulders are a little effed up, I always use a neutral grip. So obviously, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 variations of the neutral grip that I use there. So
you've had surgery on both shoulders, but you haven't.
I had surgery on one shoulder and the other one's just fucked. But I did some pretty good rehab stuff with it, and I can actually bench again and press. So I benched, I can probably 275 for 8 with the what do you call that? The Swiss bar. Yeah. So this comes with detachable dip handles. They're right here. And I also have a landmine right by Matt here.
Yeah, another great tool.
Yeah, it's great because you just run a bar through it. You can take it apart. I had them make me 2 handles, the parallel grip, and then we call those chopper handles, ape hangers. My weight vest is actually in my truck right now, but this has all my weight vest stuff in there. That's my wife's weight vest. We have a sled there, but I use the weight vest a lot. It's one of the best tools I've ever used, especially once I got back from my back surgery. That was my main source of rehab.
There's tons of walking in the weight.
Tons of walking. And I remember we live in a loop here, and so I think 2 or 3 days after my surgery, I put like a 10-pound vest on, because I couldn't just walk. I needed so I could just put like a 5 or 10-pound vest in.
Everything you're saying here, I get all
So
this.
I was like, well, I gotta make it look like I'm doing a workout. So that half mile, it's about a half mile around here, and that's what I use the prowler for. I do the half-mile prowler push. And originally I would just put a plate on there and go around, and it got up to the time where me and Rhodes did 3 plates. And
for a half mile.
Yeah, and then I've done a mile with 225. Or 2 plates on each side, which is it's much heavier than 225.
Yeah, but listen, everything weighs 45 pounds.
That's right. Yeah, that's how we. Hey, what's
that barbell weigh? 45 pounds, asshole. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're not competing. We have jump boxes here. I use these a little bit. My son uses them a whole lot. Set up little courses for him to jump on the different height boxes. He was able to jump on 7 to 24 pretty well.
Nice.
He loves jumping.
I'm moderately comfortable thinking I could probably.
Yeah. Can I just roll on it?
Yeah. Well, sit.
So
that's basically my box height for squatting at this point.
That's right. Just
nailed it. Like body fat percentage. I like to keep those about the same number.
All right. This is the question I get asked the most. Why do I have a monolift in here and not a rack? The number one reason is I don't like squatting inside a rack. It always drove me nuts. I always like to squat outside of a rack. That's been since I've been in high school pretty much. Not saying I never squat in a rack, but if I have the choice, I always squat outside of a rack. So this allows the handles to come in and out right here. So when you have a bar like this is the Buffalo bar, all rusted out, but we still use it.
Still works as a barbell.
If we have these J-hooks out, the bar would concave in like this.
Right.
So Also, when you're a bigger dude and you have a straight bar in there, it lets you take a little wider grip. You don't get pinched. The other reason why we did this, and again, I'd walk out all my weights. I don't use them, the monolift, you know, trained by myself, but it allows different height guys to lift at the same time without having to change the rack and all that crap. These are the kind of pickups I have in my guitar, lace pickups. You always put that in the weight room. That sticker sucks. It's not coming. All right, anyway, we have a shitload of bars here. We have the best safety squat bar that I've used, the SS yoke bar. The pad is incredibly thick and dense, which makes a big difference. We have
and another big deal with those too is the fact that all 3 pads are attached like one.
Yeah.
Whenever there's some that have 2 separate pads and a pad across the back, and
that's right. Yep. Yeah,
this one can't go anywhere.
No, that's right. Yeah. My old one started to roll and get a little funny. We have an 8-foot squat bar, another Texas power bar. We have a kids training bar, which fits in a rack, which is very important. It's about 15 pounds, I want to say. I got 2 of those. William Strang sent me a Tsunami Bar, and we had talked about this earlier. It's great for the rehab when I had a shoulder problem. That was one of the things I could do. We have 2 Swiss bars. Well, this one's the Swiss bar. I'm not sure what EFS, but Dave sent me this one. And
their updated version?
Yeah, their updated version, and the medium grip, which is here, like the second grip. Here's the inside grip. The second grip is a little wider than the inside grip on here, and that made a huge difference for me. So the only problem is that they're not knurled, and so this athletic tape cost me, you know, $1 or something. Makes a huge difference.
I always found
huge
that,
difference
with that type of a grip, that especially when they're alternate handles, right? Like they're not attached this way. They don't want to go anywhere as knurling goes.
No, but the problem is when it's really hot or cold in here.
Something to bite into.
Yeah, I need some. You can see I taped my chin-up handles too. So over here we have more bars. This is the BioTest or T-Nation. I'm not sure. I guess it's sold under BioTest. They sent me this bar, the dead squat bar. Very thankful to Tim Patterson for doing that. This is a
big gnarly bastard.
Yeah, this thing is massive. It's much wider between the grips here. The grips are angled, which makes things much easier. The knurling is fucking awesome. It'll rip your hands off, and I love it.
If you're a man of size and action, you need a little bit wider trap bars than that.
Yes, and this is the bigger, faster, stronger Mega Hex bar. This is the oldest piece in this weight room. I've had this for about at least 20 years. My wife uses this one, but it's 75 pounds. It's a fucking.
Of course, it's not broken.
Yeah, this thing is incredibly awesome. The big change between this bar and other bars is the sleeve is much longer, so you can fit more 45s. But if you look, even this sleeve on this bar is much longer. This thing also fits in a rack.
Oh yeah.
But I don't use it. I don't know. You know.
Overhead
I guess you could do rack pulls in it, but I don't do rack. I don't have a rack. We have a do neck. Oh, it's one of the. I can't tell that story because I think people would call me culturally inappropriate, but it's fucking hilarious. This is a deadlift bar. This bar has got so much whip. It's insane.
Yeah, they're
but this
it's
one.
Amazing with switching to one the first time. Like, this is great. Like the weight doesn't show up until you're at the knees.
And this is I think a 75-pound fat bar, which got some really good knurling, but doesn't spin. I never knew. I'm not gonna do cleans with this bar. Fun fact: one time I decided to try deadlifts with this, just to try it.
Just double overhand?
Double overhand. The next day I had to record bass tracks for my band. You know, towards the end of the track, I was just barely fucking. You know,
giving it the strong hand?
Man, it just, let me use my strong hand and stir the fucking potatoes. So then we have a bunch of bumper plates, and the reason why we started using bumper plates, especially for the deadlift, is if you put on a regular metal 45, they tend to tilt and fall a little bit. So we always put a solid, a little thicker 45-pound bumper, lets the weight sit a little bit better. You know, I can afford some, I mean, they're not very expensive, but I'd rather have this than a bunch of 45-pound plates that jingling around. So it's just much, especially on the bench where the weights would start moving, I need to save my shoulders as much as possible. We have a box squat box, a bunch of med balls. This one's for my son, that one's for me. He loves doing that stuff. Got a bunch of kettlebells here. The lighter ones are for the Turkish get-ups and the bottoms up press, So we use that for part of my rehab, 180 and 70 and the 54.
That's 48 kilos, so what, 106?
Yeah. So, but I use these primarily for rows and snatches. We were talking earlier. The kettlebell, for me, is superior to the dumbbell for the row. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with dumbbell rows, but if you gave me a choice, I would have nothing but fucking kettlebells.
The difference is like if you're going to do a farmer's carry, like if you were going to carry a 200-pound dumbbell as far as you can, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But you can do a 200-pound farmer's carry forever because it's pulling, it's
down.
trying to rotate.
Yeah. So, and plus I like the fatter handles. Yeah. It's actually easier for me to grip. But
you can always give them the claw if you have.
That's right. Which the other thing is, the other half-mile thing we do is a farmer's walk for a half mile, which fucking blows. So when first time I did it, I was smart enough. I had a bag of chalk in one hand,
good move.
And I brought straps. And I have used straps in the last maybe 150 meters or something.
Blow your traps on as it's just hanging.
Oh yeah, it was miserable. And I people always, I had lunch the other day, and the FedEx guy's like, man, you're always pushing the sled around, like are you crazy?
What are you doing, manual labor for fun?
Yeah, idiot. But there's, I got the old, not the old, but just the original Prowler Air. Love that thing.
Well, they're Prowler too.
Yeah.
Technically, right? Like there was one, but wasn't it fucking gigantic? Which was like the original Prowler?
Yeah, well, the Prowler was made, if I'm not mistaken, by Joey Batson at Clemson. He's the one that came up with the idea, and William Strength ran with it. So, because William Strength has done all of Clemson's weight rooms. I think they've redone their weight room 4 or 5 times in like 20 years. So you think Clemson's got some cash? What Dabo Swinney's done there, they had always had great support, but they took a ACC school and made it. Yeah. You think Ohio State, Alabama,
they
and
almost
Clemson.
Beat LSU.
Yeah. LSU.
It's cute.
But what he's done there has been absolutely, and what's been crazy, and the other thing is Dabo's played at Alabama.
Okay.
And so they asked him, when Saban retires, like,
did you want the gig?
And he's like, well, I built my own Alabama here.
Right, why would I leave?
And I know a couple people that work with the program and are friendly with them, and they all said nothing but great things about Dabo Swinney. And these aren't people that are just ass kissers. Like, dude, he's the real deal. He actually gives a shit.
So that's what I think about, like Tommy Moffitt with what he's done as the strength conditioning coach at LSU.
I can't believe he survived all the.
He's through 4 coaches, which that really shows his shit's together.
Yep. It's unbelievable.
Right, because that's not the way it runs anymore.
No. That's one of the big reasons why I got out of college.
Well, it's whoever the new coach is. Politics comes in and cleans house.
And you can't have like a nice stable family, because it's not like you coach at Ohio State and stay in the same area and go get another job, and that you have to move.
Yeah.
So.
You chase the work.
Anyway, as you can see, like as far as decorations, I've got a lot of personal stuff up here. I think 3 of these posters were sent to me by when I was at EFS by a guy named Chip Conrad, who runs a gym. I think he's Body Tribe Gym. Sorry, Chip, if I fucked that up, but he sent me this stuff from artists for gig posters and stuff. I got an old picture of me in high school that was hanging up in our weight room to the far left there. I have a Tom Rathman jersey that my dad got me when I was in high school. Quite a bit, actually. That was back in the day. Forgot to mention this poster, it's kind of been faded a little bit. This is my best friend growing up. He was a boxer.
Oh, no way.
And he passed away in, 2001, 2000?
Mean 140.
Yeah, oh, it fucking ruined me, man. So, that's my best friend right there, Michael Caticelli. Dr. Ken sent me this, Peanuts West. Wow. And he sent me this too.
Yeah.
That's that was a meeting of the minds in York, and you can see some of the old strength legends. Paul Anderson's in there, a bunch of the old-time strongmen there. So it was very cool. That I wish I would have called Dr. Ken a couple more times, before he passed. The amount of stories that guy could tell were fucking awesome. The guy was just a good dude, man. The funny thing is, he was old enough to realize there are other ways to get shit done. He's like, I just got my way. Doesn't mean I hate you if you're not doing it. Right. He's like, I don't care.
This is what works for me. I'm gonna.
And then
we don't have to agree. You're just wrong.
Yeah, we'll agree that you're a fucking asshole. But this is one of the. This was gifted me by the football team. That's me addressing the team after a game. I'm sure we kicked the shit out of the team. My buddy Mike Perilla sent me this. This is a famous martial arts, I don't know what you'd really call him, Count Dante, who's out in Chicago. He's a fucking character. This is his old gym, or I don't know, training style thing. Yeah, it's hard to explain. So, you know, when we started doing this, we wanted to go all out. So we made sure this was what we wanted. It's a little cramped in here. You know, I have to wheel in and out the motorcycle and some of my kids' shit in here, but for the most part, the weight room is the weight room, you know. I wanted a great place to train and hang out, so I can do everything I want in here. I got little tidbits and stuff here and there, but
so, I know you're hosting a meet. Is this the second annual?
Second, yep. The first one, believe it or not, we did it on like 2 months, 3 months time, and it was like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, all right. Okay. So yeah, it's in June.
Yep.
June, we were hosting
middle of June in Topeka, Kansas.
Yep. And it's at the Strength Guild where Phil Stevens has a gym there. We started off we're going to do a meet, like a powerlifting meet, in which we had something a little different. We're going to use the buffalo bar, the trap bar, and the standing press as the main lifts. And then that morphed into having a strongman contest, and then that morphed into having a Highland Games thing. Right. And it just became, like, the difference between year one and year two is huge.
Well, it's now just become this like celebration of all things strength sports without any fuckery.
I didn't want to have the politics of it. I didn't want to have the hipster bullshit of it, where you have, you know.
I'm slightly triggered by that.
Yes, that's I was supposed to. I didn't want any of the fucking bullshit. I just wanted people to have a good time, where they're not bitching about the lifts. You know, like one of the big things is we made the rules, but I'm like, dude, if it's fucking good, if it would pass like most people, just pass the fucking lift. You don't have to be all fucking anal about stuff.
Yeah, I remember I benched a PR at a meet, and
they give you a red light for having a booger.
Where my head came up, and like I'm celebrating, and a guy comes over to me and he's like, you know, we gave you a red light. I'm like, oh man, I don't give a fuck. It was like bar touched my chest and I pressed it up. That's right.
Now, there's some standard rules, but for the most part, you know.
I can't have you help me.
Yeah.
Outside of that.
Yeah. But it's you know, keep your ass on the bench, don't, you know, stuff like that. So I wanted something that was just, people could have fun in. And it originally started in this weight room. We would have NOV meets twice a year, myself, Matt Rhodes, and Vincent DeCenzo. And what it was anything you wanted to do was fair game. You just had to, you know, train for it and kind of proclaim it to the guys. So if you said, listen, I'm going to try to bench 275 for 8. That's your fucking, all right, we're doing it. So we train for. Now we get to do whatever the fuck you want, and then we do a conditioning challenge. So last year we did, I think, 1.5 miles with a ridiculous amount of weight on the prowler.
When you guys did that with Vinny and Matt, Vinny was fat.
No. Vinny was fucking tiny.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Vinny, yeah. By the time he was here, he was very thin. He was like I wouldn't have enough weights for him. Oh. But yeah, so but man,
I was more concerned about the conditioning aspect.
No, he was in fucking phenomenal shape. Yeah. One time, and then the other time we did weight vest walks up a steep hill. The hills, when I say steep, like you can walk and touch.
Oh, Jesus.
It's fucking miserable. And it's about, the one that we did was about 75, 80 yards, which was fucking brutal. But
you've always had that side of the training, which, I mean, like one of the first times we met, I remember I got into Elite to train while I was on the road for work or some shit like that. And
yes.
At the end of the training session, whatever, we're gonna run prowler. And I'm like, oh, I'm in. And I have one, and I do it, and like, you and I ended up running it and like watching the rest of the powerlifters fade off. Yeah. And like we just kept going and like, you want to go get tacos? I'm like, yep.
Dude, you got to earn your fucking tacos, man.
Yeah.
So I go train and then I either get Taco Bell or the food truck. It's like, I'm not one of those like.
Fully support.
Well, I just like people always ask me about the diet stuff, and diet's incredibly important. Don't get me wrong, but I don't care.
It depends on all your goals.
I just don't care what I look like. For the most part, like if I have a gut, and I'm not gonna stop eating fucking cheesecake. Like I like it. I don't eat a ton of it.
Well, you can have a life where you decide to not have cheesecake, or you can have a life where you have a bunch of it. You're gonna die either way.
Yeah, and I don't eat like crap all the time. But if I had a kick-ass Reuben the other day, oh my god, it was so good. Yeah. You know. But this is my weight room. I love this fucking place. I love it. You know, when we train out here, my wife and I obviously mostly train. We train alone. And that time is ours. So, you know, the kid doesn't come out here and bother us. And it's kind of known, like, this is my time. Let's, just let me have it. So that's one of the things I love about it. I love having, no matter what the weather is, I open up the garage door, I get some air and sun in here. Get a lot of weird looks from people, especially if it's like 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Like, don't you have a fucking job? And I'm like, wait a minute, you don't have a job either, motherfucker.
What are you doing here?
It's like when there's a traffic jam at like 1:30.
Oh, dude,
like, where's everyone going?
Like, where the fuck? Why aren't all you people at work?
So, but yeah, I couldn't be happier. You know, I can understand the appeal of going to a gym. I can, I mean.
And the appeal of it.
No, going to like a public gym, I could understand. You know, people don't know what they're doing. Maybe they need to, but man, there is nothing better than setting up in here. And you know how fast your workouts go?
Well, you've eliminated so much bullshit of like getting to the gym. Of like, fuck, I got to get back in my car and drive to a place and do that. But it also gets tricky because you don't have that like setup time mentally of driving to the gym. Like, oh, well, shit, I'm in the gym. It
doesn't. You need. That's why I made this space the weight room.
Yeah.
And not really anything else. And again, when we're in here, this is all we're doing. We're not fucking around. And so that's one of the big things. It's kind of a we've never actually talked about it, but that's kind of our unspoken rule. So, and you save a shitload of money. I mean, there's a lot of money in this gym, but you don't need all these bells and whistles.
But you're also investing in you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I look at it. Look at the money plus gas plus all the other things that you'll spend going into a commercial gym, or even if you're doing a private powerlifting gym. And I did it for as much as I traveled and was on the road. I needed less of an excuse to not go to the gym. I know my own shortcomings of being lazy shit, and I'm just trying to combat that guy inside my head of like, how do I get out of my own way?
Yeah, that's your biggest opponent, man, is your fucking brain. Everything that I kind of wanted. Yeah. And I'm glad I was able to do it. Obviously, I wish we had part of me wishes we had a bigger space, but then part of me is like, you know what, this teaches us to minimize a little bit here.
Well, it's now with a couple different things. But
one of the keys of a good marriage, man, there's two things. You always date your wife and live well below your means. If you can do those two things, you guys will be happy, because most of the fucking shit that you fight about at some point has to do with money and finances. You get stressed out about stuff. So
yeah, you don't have to make a shit ton of money to live relatively free. And like I tell people that all the time, like, what are my goals now? It's like, I want to wake up and do whatever the fuck I want to every day.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be shit you're going to have to do. Anyway, this is my gym, man. I love it.
Check out the link below for the NOV meet info. Register, sign up. It's going to be a kick-ass thing. We've got a lot of money on the table that you can win.
Tons of money. Holy shit, do we got money now.
Wait, first place is shit. Big handful of cash.
Yeah, it's all cash prizes. We have a shitload of sponsors that are coming and helping out. I'm bringing my kids, or my kid. Phil's got it. There's a lot of kids there. We try to do it kid friendly.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that we're going to vanilla stuff down a little bit, but we try to make it so that the kids can, you're not going to show up to like a Hell's Angels club or something.
No, and we've got food trucks, and they're going to be sponsored by beer. HVIII's going to be there. Phil's warehouse, where Strength Guild is also where we manufacture all the stuff for HVIII, so it's a really, really great fit, and excited to go take part of it and support it again.
And the best part is I just show up.
Yeah, that's all I do is stand behind the booth and look moderately busy all day, and then I'll talk shit to the Highland Games.
So
what I used to do.
Where did you stay?
Where did I stay? Oh, we just drove in. I don't think we stayed overnight.
Okay, we stayed at a very nice hotel, and it had a great restaurant below.
Yeah.
Just fucking hipsters everywhere.
In Topeka?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude.
I'd love to see
oh, dude, stupid hair. Think that they've God's gift to Earth. They've seen the world because they've been to Manhattan, Kansas. Anyway, I was reading the menu for breakfast, and I was like, they had avocado toast. I'm like, fuck, what fucking asshole orders avocado toast? And she's like, a lot of people come here just for the avocado toast. Like, no one goes to a fucking hotel restaurant for the avocado toast. It was she got all pissy at me. And I was like, really? You want to play this fucking game?
There's a food truck I ran into in LA that had avocado.
A lot of people.
Like on the menu, they just called it the basic bitch.
But she fucking, gave me the fucking hip.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
You're mushing avocado on the toast, lady. You didn't reinvent the wheel.
Let's see here. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much for this rare glimpse. I don't really like to show stuff in here because it's my gym and not anyone else's.
Right. And we're going to go find some tacos. Red Hate, always party.